Hi everyone, delonewolf here and welcome back to the Sunday recap, my weekly vlog where I talk a bit about my last week in games. And for this week it's gonna be a decently short one because I've only really spent a decent amount of time playing EVE Online. The start of the week was deploying the new structure, the first structure back again for the corporation, this time in Galente space in Iona, and it's just a refinery with a reprocessing service and then the core, of course, so that I could bring it online. Really as bare bones as it gets, but this gives you access to the compression capability, which functions at 100% even if you don't have any rigs or anything like that. And so that's what I've been doing, basically getting that structure up and running, and then I've been mining in the Orca. Definitely playing EVE at a lower pace, right, in a lower gear you could say, but I've been playing a decent amount of it, and it's been very satisfying to get back into mining. My first love, really my first career you could say in EVE Online was as a miner. Back in those days the Hulk was your target with 3 strip miners. It was really the best yield that you could potentially get in the game. That made you paper thin and definitely a little bit of a target, which is starting to happen at this point as well. I got that first mail in the EVE Online inbox asking for ISK in exchange for safety, right? Those kinds of shakedowns, they happen from time to time when you deploy structures, when you fly paper thin ships. All of that can happen. I've learned that it's probably best to just ignore that, especially never give in, never pay them, because I think that just puts a mark on your back and they'll just be back again and again and again, you know, making the same threats, and you'll become a cash cow for them. So that's my philosophy on that, right? If someone demands ISK for you, just ignore it, and always keep rule number 1 in mind: don't fly or deploy what you can't afford to lose in EVE Online. And for me that's definitely the case, right? If something were to happen to the Orca, if something were to happen to the structure, then that is entirely fine, part of the experience, and we'll just adapt our plans depending on exactly what's happening. It would require a war deck at this point, so I'm not all that worried. In fact, there's a couple of free ports that do still exist in Iona at the moment that I think will always be far more juicy targets than the bare bones structure that I only use for compression, and that's always empty, but we will see. And of course I will keep you guys up to date as well. Next to all of that mining, which, you know, I've done a decent chunk of that, brought everything to the structure, compressed it so that it's ready for production. You know, I've done my PI. I haven't done blueprint copies because that is basically going to finish with its jobs in like just a couple of hours after recording this one, so more on that later. But the focus has really been back to the roots, back to Galente space, back in Iona, mining in the Orca, compressing that stuff and getting it ready for the market, which is not right now, right? If you follow EVE Talk, you know that the industry changes are hitting demand very hard. It's basically collapsing. All the minerals are under pressure and are going down, but I'm not making minerals, I'm actually making compressed ores, and man, I've been really surprised, especially when it's got Mexilon in it. It sometimes like adds 50% of value just for compressing the ore. So my read on this is that being able to move stuff from place to place is starting to grow in importance, and so the value of just compressing ores is actually very high at the moment. And all of this, I'll be honest, is a little bit by accident. I just happened to want to get back into that gear, into that mindset while enjoying EVE Online. And yeah, CCP comes out with the foundation quadrant that focuses on the empires. We happen to be back in our home empire, you could say, the Galente Federation. You know, the birth of our character, of our corporation was there, and so it really does feel good. But just want to mention that I don't have any information. This is entirely by accident, that you know, circumstances brought us back into Galente space when all of this is kicking off. And the story so far seems to be involving the Equilibrium of Man, a faction that, well, looks really cool. Their skins are so cool, so I may interact with that. I've been really focusing on mining, compressing over the last week, got quite a bit of stock ready there, but we'll see. I think I'll have to like refit the local rattlesnake for running those event sites, but perhaps I'll jump into that later next week I haven't really made a decision on that. But overall, yeah, very relaxed experience in EVE Online, definitely having fun, and also looking forward to what's coming next. If I happen to catch like an event happening, I will of course rush to that, try to interact with it, keeping an eye on potential announcements from CCP as to what evolves. That could definitely change my plans. I think I'm basically in a good spot. I'm enjoying my time, I'm relaxing, I don't feel any real pressure to play EVE Online or anything like that, so I'm basically, you know, recharging the batteries a little bit, making sure that I can keep going. That's important to do from time to time, and I'm in a spot where basically we've deployed as bare bones a single structure as is possible, so I don't feel like I'm tied down in any way. We're basically also ready to change our goals and our play style depending on whatever it is that CCP could announce that could spark our interest. So yeah, just a full week of EVE Online, very relaxed. I feel like we're gaining energy, and I'm ready to keep going and to keep you guys up to date as well. That's it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I'll see you next time.